I feel the Cincinnati Bengals are going to have the NFL's best offense in 2022. Last year, they had the worst offensive line in the NFL. They allowed 3.5 sacks per game. That was 32nd in the league. Joe Burrow was sacked over 50 times. And despite that, they were able to make it to the Super Bowl. And last year was a phenomaly. Because there's going to be people out there who are going to have a young quarterback behind a not so great offensive line. And they're going to say, if Joe Burrow did it, why can't you? Joe Burrow is different. Joe Burrow is cut from a different kind of cloth. He is cerebral. His mindset, the way he approaches the game, he just elevates everybody. He just makes you want to play hard for him. And last year we saw that because this was a team that didn't really have high expectations going into the season. We didn't expect them to make it to the playoffs. We definitely didn't expect them to win the division. And then when they made it to the Super Bowl, I was like, huh? And it's funny because normally teams with bad offensive lines sometimes are able to get into the postseason. And maybe they're able to walk away with a wild card victory. But after that, they don't really make it far because the best teams in the postseason are the teams that normally have great offensive line play. You look at Cincinnati, they revamped the offensive line. You remember when Kansas City lost to the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl and they got destroyed by their defensive line? After that game, Kansas City pretty much tanked their whole offensive line. They rebuilt it and started over. You look at how good their offense was last year, even though it took them a while to get going. For Cincinnati, you bring in Center Ted Karras, right guard Alex Cappa, right tackle Lyle Collins. You already have left tackle Jonah Williams, who was your best offensive lineman last year. You're going to have Carmen Jackson, expected to start at left guard. So this offensive line is going to be really, really good. This is probably one of the top 5 best units in the NFL going into this season. And now you're going to give Joe Burrow more time to sit back and throw the football. He's not going to have to get the ball out in less than 2 or 3 seconds. This offense is going to be even more deadly than what it was last year. And it was really surprising because I kept saying, doggone it, they give up so many sacks, but they make up for it because they are just so good at being able to generate chunk plays. And now with the improved offensive line, imagine the damage that they're going to be able to do. The Bengals on the ground averaged 4 yards per carry, which was 26 in the league. Joe Mixon is going to be running through way bigger holes than where he was running through last year. I know that may sound a little bit suspect. Didn't mean for it to come out that way, but you guys will get what I'm trying to say. So Joe Burrow, he's going to have a fantastic year. But Joe Mixon, he could be in for a career year, literally. Because Joe Mixon has never really gotten the opportunity to play behind a great offensive line like this one. So he's going to benefit from it. These wide receivers are going to benefit from it because this is a team that was pretty much predicated on big plays. It's weird because the Bengals could get negative yardage on first down, try to throw the ball on second down, have it ended up in a sack. Then the third down, they end up converting because they're just so doggone good at getting big plays. And now that you give Joe Burrow a legitimate offensive line, imagine the damage that's going to happen this year to opposing defenses. If you don't have a good pass rush, you're going to be in trouble. And even if you do have a good pass rush, you're now going to have to deal with an offensive line that's not going to give up a 10-sack performance like they did in the divisional round win against Tennessee. You're going to have a defensive line that, unless you have some studs, similar to what the Rams had last year with Von Miller and Aaron Donald, you're really going to have a tough time if you don't have legitimate secondary. So for any team out there that's playing Cincinnati, you have to make sure that you have not only just a phenomenal pass rush, but you got to make sure that your cornerbacks are able to hang with these wide receivers. And I had somebody on Twitter make a post that ended up popping up on my recommended. It was a Browns fan talking about how the Browns got the best wide receiver core in the AFC North. Are we serious right now? we serious right now, right? The Browns have a better wide receiving core than Cincinnati Bengals. Didn't make any sense to me. Outside of Amari Cooper, who else on the Browns is even capable of being able to be regarded in this conversation as being as good as a Jamar Chase? We saw what he did. He set records last year. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. These are 3 wide receivers that could be your number one on pretty much a handful of NFL squads. You're not going to find too many wide receiving cores that have 3 true number one wide receivers. Tyler Boyd has been the most underrated wide receiver in the game for over the last 2 years. I say over the last 2 and not 3 because at one point that title belonged to T.Y. Hilton. But we already know what's happened to T.Y. Hilton. He's starting to get old. He started to regress. You got T. Higgins. T. Higgins was drafted a couple years back. Phenomenal, man. This wide receiving core is stacked. Then let's not forget, at tight end, you did lose C.J. Uzomah, but you have Hayden Hurst. I think Hayden Hurst is a really good fit. I think he's a better overall tight end than C.J. Uzomah. Remember, Hayden Hurst was a former first-round pick by the Baltimore Ravens. However, what happened is that they ended up drafting Mark Andrews in that same draft. And I don't think anybody expected Mark Andrews to be better than Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst has always been a pretty solid tight end. He's pretty athletic, has pretty good speed, solid hands. So I think he's an upgrade. You lost C.J. Uzomah, but you replaced him with Hayden Hurst. Even though C.J. Uzomah may be better when it comes to run blocking, Hayden Hurst is a better true pass-catching tight end than C.J. Uzomah, in my opinion. So for Joe Burrow, I expect him to put up phenomenal numbers. He's my pick to win NFL MVP this year. I'm probably going to have to make another segment later on in the next couple of weeks about why I feel Joe Burrow will win NFL MVP. But check out these numbers. I'm not really big on stats, but he completed 70.4% of his passes last year. Threw for 4,611 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. If he can lower those interception numbers, oh my God, Joe Burrow might put up 50 touchdowns this year. He might just go ahead and break the all-time record for most passing touchdowns in the season if they let him. If they just decide just to have this aired out approach, this air raid philosophy, which I doubt because you have Joe Mixon, you're going to have to stay balanced and you're going to have to feed him as well because you're paying him a good amount of money. But Joe Burrow, man, I just think out of all of the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, I think he has the best offensive team around him when it comes to his supporting cast. Great offensive line, 3 number one wide receivers, a great running back. It doesn't get no better than that. This dude, Joe Mixon, walked into Cincinnati when it was a mobile home. He took Cincinnati from that mobile home and upgraded them to a 4-bedroom mansion. I don't know if that's a great metaphor or a great analogy, but you get what I'm trying to say. The dude is a winner. We don't see quarterbacks like Joe Burrow walk into the NFL this often and just completely change the culture of an organization. Joe Burrow is not going to suffer from a Super Bowl hangover, and neither is this team. He does not tolerate winning. He's going to do everything in his power that it takes to win. This man is a really great quarterback, but a really great leader. He knows how to elevate the players around him. And not only that, but Jamar Chase, think about what he did as a rookie. As a rookie, he's already in the conversation as a top 5, top 10 wide receiver. And that was 1 year. Imagine what he's going to do with a second year, an added offseason of development. And then, remember, he was still trying to get into the flow of things last year because he sat out the whole entire 2020 season to prepare for the NFL draft. So for Jamar Chase, with another offseason of development, think about how deadly he could become this year. We could end up seeing him go for maybe 1,700, 1,800 yards. I'm not going to say 2,000 because it's just too many mouths to feed. But this offense is going to be dangerous. And don't be surprised if you see Joe Burrow set all kinds of records this year. I'm trying to tell you, if you are somebody who likes to bet on prop bets such as who's going to win offensive rookie or defensive rookie of the year or MVP, put your money down on Joe Burrow. I am trying to tell you. Joe Burrow and this Bengals offense, they're not only going to put up numbers, but they might break some records. But you guys let me know how you feel about the Cincinnati Bengals offense this upcoming NFL season. This offense is going to be deadly, man. Absolutely deadly. And it makes me sick. It makes me absolutely sick that I'm saying this because I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And don't we play the Bengals week 1? Okay. We're going to see how La'el Collins matches up against TJ Watt. Because if you can neutralize TJ Watt, you already pretty much have the game won there. So let me know how you guys are feeling about the Cincinnati Bengals offense down in the comment section down below. Do you guys feel that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to have the best offense in the league? Let me know if you agree or if I'm just drinking too much of the Kool-Aid of Cincinnati.